Okay, I'm making an extra video for you. Alright, so let's read the question first. It says the base of a triangle is, and okay, now it's ready. The base of a triangle is 10 centimeters and the height is 8. What is the area? So what you have to realize is that how do we find the area of a triangle? We use area equals, and I know in class I said, let me write it over here, base times height divided by 2. But another way of using it, it's half times, I'll use the x, times the base times the height. It makes no difference which one we use, but let's focus on this one. Okay, so let's substitute our variables, the letter a, the b, and the h, if they're given to us. Okay, base is 10, so instead of the b here, I'm going to replace it with 10. And the height is 8. I replace that. So it's asking for the area, so a is the one that I want to find. So in order to find the area, I have to multiply these three guys over here. So if you take a calculator and you multiply, let's say 10 times 8 first, this 2 gives you 80. And if you multiply it by a half of 80 is 40. And that gives you the area of that triangle. So that triangle has 40 centimeter squares inside. Okay, so that's a simple one. Okay, that's just a plain old find the area given the base and the height. Okay, so I'm going to do one more. And over here, the only difference is that instead of whole numbers, it's fractions. So I'm going to insist that you write this way. Okay, only because this method is going to help you with the other questions. Again, we're finding the area, so my a is not going to be replaced by any number, so that's going to stay the same. So a equals half times the base, which is 3.4, times the height, which is 5.6. So if you take a calculator, you can I would usually multiply these two first, and then multiply by half, which is the same thing, by the way, as divided by 2. So if you take a calculator, you're going to multiply 3.4 times 5.6, which is going to give you 19.04, and then you're going to multiply by half or divide it by 2, the same thing, and that gives you that the area of this particular triangle is 952 inches squared. So if you had a triangle and you had a bunch of little squares like this, and you counted all the squares, it would give you 9 full squares and 0.52 of another one, 9.52 squares inside. Okay, so this is just area to find the area. Okay, so let's move on to the ones that you had trouble with. Now, again, it's a triangle question. So for triangle questions, you'll use this particular method. Okay, half times base times height and area. So in this case, the area is given to us. So a is going to be replaced by what? By 16. So area 16, half stays the same. Which of these two variables are we going to replace? Let's see, the base is 4. So they gave us that the base is 4, so I'm going to leave it at height. And our mystery is the height. I need to find what the height is. So 16 equals half times 4 times 8. I can multiply these two numbers. 16 stays the same for now. If I multiply half times 4, what's half of 4? 2. And the h stays the same. Okay. Now, if you read this says 16 equals 2 times a number I don't know, which in this case is represented by h, or it's going to be the height. So how do I get to find that number? Well, it's a multiplication equation, right? So the opposite of multiplication, division. So to find the value of h, to find what number multiplied by 2 gives you 16, you're going to do 16 divided by 2. And if you divide by 2, you're going to get that your h equals 8. Is it true? Well, check. To check, you can substitute, go back to your original equation, half times base times h. Let's see if it's really true. The area is 16, the area is 16, half, base was 4, and the height we just found was 8. So 16 stays the same. On this side, you multiply 4 times 8, which is 32, and if you multiply, that's 32. And if you multiply that by a half or take half of it, you get 16. And you can tell that it's an equation where left side equals right side. So the height of this particular triangle is 8. Okay, so sometimes you can use this to find the area if you're given the base and the height. Sometimes you can find the base if you're given the area and the height. And sometimes you can find the height if you're given the area and the base. So it really depends on what you're given. Okay, so you notice there's 1, 2, 3 variables. You will always be given 2. Okay, and you're going to be asked to find the other one that's missing. Let's try another one. Area equals half times base times h. I will start with that. So the area of a triangle. So again here, they give you the area. So instead of the a here, I'm going to replace that by 13.44 equals half. The base is what I need to find. So that's going to remain as b. And the height is given to us. And that I'm going to change from h to 5.6. Okay, so I'm going to make that a letter x so it doesn't get confused with that decimal. So 13.44 equals half times a number we don't know times 5.6. So our job is to find out what that number is, this mystery number b. So that when I multiply all these 3 parts equals 13.44. So 3 numbers are being multiplied, and 2 of them I know, 1 of them I'm missing, and that's the one I need to find. So 13.44 is just going to relax a little bit and stay there for a little bit. On this side, I'm going to take and I'm going to multiply half times 5.6. I'm going to multiply these two. Okay, I'm going to take those 2 numbers and make them equal to one number. So 5.6 times a half or divided by 2 equals 2.8. So half times 5.6 is 2.8. And the b stays the same. So now I have the 13.44 equals 2.8 times a mystery number. How do I find what b is? To find out what b is, I'm going to have to divide 13.44 divided by 2.8. So to find b, I'm going to take 13.44 and divide it by 2.8. That's going to give us 4.8. So the base of this triangle is 4.8 inches. Okay, so for the next 3 questions or questions, stop, try it, and then let me know, and then compare your answers. Okay, so you can stop the video anytime, try it on your own, and then check your answers. So again, let's see, the triangle has a height of 8.1, the area is 10.53. What is the height? Well, area half times base times height. We're not finding the area, we're trying to find the height. So this h is going to stay the same. Everything else is going to change a little bit. Half stays the same. And instead of b, I'm going to write, what, 8.1? Okay, so half times 8.1 times h. And all that should equal to the area, which is 10.53. So what number can I put in here so that when I multiply half times 8.1 times that number to give me 10.53. So that's what our job is. Okay, so clean this up. 10.53 stays the same. I can multiply half and 8.1. Those 2 numbers I can multiply and combine them into 1. So 8.1 divided by 2, which is the same thing as multiplying by half. So you should get 4.05h. Now, let me put a multiplication sign there just in case. How do I find this mystery number? Well, because it's a multiplication equation, right? You're going to use division to find your answer. So to find the value of h, you're going to take 10.53, okay, 10.53, and you're going to divide it by 4.05. And again, with a calculator, 10.53 divided by 4.05, it's going to give you that the height of this triangle, if you divide it, is 2.6 inches. Okay. There more? Yeah, there's one more. Again, stop the video, give it a shot. Half times base times h. Area is 18, right? So I'm going to replace the a with 18. Half stays. What can I think? The height 7.5, so the b is going to stay because that's what we want. So the b is our mystery number, and the height 7.5. I put a multiplication sign. So that says half times a number that I don't know times 7.5. All that should equal 18. So how do we find that number? Well, let's combine half and 7.5. Let's make those two into one number. So if you take half and divide, or 7.5, sorry, divided by 7.5, you get 3.75. So half and 7.5, half of 7.5 is 3.75, right? 3.75, don't forget the b there, times b. So what do we do now to find our b? We're going to divide, 18. We're going to divide, take that 18 and we're going to divide it by 3.75 to find our mystery number. 18 divided by 3.75 is going to give us that the base is 4.8. So the base of our triangle is 4.8 inches. Okay, hopefully this is clearing things up for you. So I picked a couple of questions here, just random questions. So this is surface area and volume. Let's do volume because that's simpler. Volume equals big B times H. V is what we need to find, so that's going to stay. Big B is represented by the base, by the bottom. Okay, the bottom of this rectangular prism is a rectangle. It's made up of length and width, the length being 4.5 and the width being 5, so length, width, and height. So 4.5 times 5 times the, length, width, and this is height, times the height, which in this case is 3 3/4. If you don't have a calculator that can deal with fractions, you can simply change this to 4.5, right? It's the same thing, times 5 times 3.75. 3 3/4, 3/4 is 375. The volume is the product of all those numbers. And that's going to give us 84.375 inches cubed. So if you were to build cubes, okay, put little cubes in here, all right, and all the way up, you would need 84.375 cubes to fill this particular prism. Okay. Second one is a little bit more annoying because it's a little bit more work. So surface area, right? We want to add all those sides, the area of each of the faces here, and so we're going to get 2LW plus 2LH plus 2WH. Okay. So you get 2. Let me write length, width, and height. So 2 times the length, which is 4.5, times the width, which is 5, and then I'm just going to write it under here because I'm going to run out of room. And the second one, the second group, is 2 times the length, which is 4.5 again, times the height, which is 3 3/4. And the last group here is 2 times the width, which is 5, times the height, which is 3 3/4. So you got 3 groups here being multiplied. Let's find out what each is. The first one is 2 times 4.5, or 4.5, times 5. That gives us 45. The second one is 2 times 4.5 times 3.75, and that's going to give us 33.75. 33.75. And the last one, 2 times 5 times 3.75, 37.5. So here are our values. Now we need to add them up, right? So 37.5 plus 33.75 plus 45 equals 116.25 inches squared, because we're finding area, the number of squares that you need to use to cover all the surfaces here. Okay. We got one more. Let's do volume again. Big B times H. We're finding volume, so this one actually in this case will stay as V because that's what we need to find. H is 1/3, and the big B is made up of 2 numbers, which is 2 1/3, which is the length, and the width, which is times 3 2/3, and then times 1/3. We're gonna run into a problem because I don't have a calculator that does fractions. So I'm going to do this the old-fashioned way, okay? Because I don't have a calculator that does fractions, you're going to have one. I'm going to change this to a mixed number. 3 times 2 is 6, plus 1 is 7, 7 over 3, times 3 times 3 is 9, plus 2 is 11, 11 over 3, times 1 over 3rd. There's a reason why I didn't change this to decimals, because it's going to be 2 1/3, actually going to be 2.3333, and go on and on forever. So it's better to leave it as a fraction, okay, because if you round it to 2.33, it's not really its exact measure, okay. So I'm leaving it as a fraction. I change everything to improper. When you're multiplying fractions, you multiply all the tops across and all the bottoms across. So at the bottom, 3 times 3 times 3 is 27. The top is 7 times 11, which is 77, times 1 is also 77. So there's my answer. If you left it like this, and there's no units, so I'm going to just write units cubed, that's okay. If you wanted to change that to a mixed number, 27, 70, okay, so 27 goes into 77 how many times? I'd say 2, 54, 3, 23, so it'd be mixed number goes 2 whole times, right? How many left over? 23 over 27, again, units cubed. Surface area. Alright, so I'll do it again. Width, length, height, 2LW plus 2LH plus 2WH, so that's our surface area. Let's do the first group, which is 2 times the length, which is 2 1/3, times the width, which is 3 2/3. Second group is 2 times the length, which is 2 1/3, again, times the width, which is 1/3. And finally, the last group is 2 times the width, which is 3 2/3, and the height, which is 1/3. I'm going to leave, again, this all in fractional format. Okay, so I'm going to change that to 2 times 6 7/3 times 11 over 3. I'll put this 2 over 1 because it's the whole number. Second group is 2 times 7 over 3, okay, times 1/3. And again, I'm going to put this 2 over 1. And the last group is 2 times 11 over 3, right? 3 times 3 is 9 plus 2 is 11 times 1/3. And again, I'm going to put this 2 over 1. Change colors here. This is going to give us, let's see, 2 times 7, 77, 154 over 9. The second group is going to be over 9. Let's see, 2 times 7 is 14, 14 over 9. And the last group is going to give us 22, 2 times 11, 22 over 9. So I have 154 over 9 plus 14 over 9 plus 22 over 9. This is addition. So the denominator stays the same, 9. And I'm going to add the top, and I get 154 plus 14 plus 22 equals 190 over 9. Okay, so to change that to a mixed number, that's not that bad. It goes in 20 times. Let's see, no. 180 is 20. So 21 times. 1 left over 9. 9 goes into 190 21 times, which is 189. And then 1 left over 9. And the units is units squared. Okay, so the only thing with this problem, and I'm sorry I chose one that you can change to decimal, is that this were thirds instead of fourth or fifth or something that was easy to change to a decimal. But nevertheless, that's how you would do it. But on Monday, you'll probably have, you'll have a fraction that you can change to a decimal if that's what you choose. But don't forget, you have a calculator that does fractions anyway. Okay, hope you understood a little better. Okay, let me know. Okay.